Hi, I'm Georgiana Danet, and welcome to a new free webinar about grounding, an efficient and pleasurable way to reduce inflammation and chronic disease. Did you know the energy from the earth can help you live a healthier life? The concept is known as earthing or grounding, which is no more complicated than walking barefoot. So, in Down to Earth, which received the Indie Awards of Excellence for a short documentary in January 2017, experts speak to shed light on this super simple yet commonly overlooked way to protect and to improve human health. So, as cardiologist Dr. Stephen Sinatra, author of Earthing, the most important health discovery ever, explains in the film, in the documentary, grounding is literally putting your bare feet on the ground. And when you do that, you are in contact with the earth, and Mother Earth is endowed with electrons. And these electrons are literally absorbed through your feet. It's like taking handfuls of antioxidants, but you're getting it through your feet instead of your mouth, as we do with supplements and nutrients. Your body really needs grounding. So research suggests a general lack of grounding, also referred to as electron deficiency syndrome, has a lot to do with the rise of modern disease. In this regard, an experiment conducted by Gary Schwartz, PhD, at the University of Arizona is very interesting in this respect. So, using sunflowers, he demonstrates the biological effects of grounding and what happens when the flowers are not grounded. It's not unusual for modern people to spend entire days without being grounded, but it has become the norm. It's completely unnatural, and it didn't really become widespread until the advent of shoes with artificial soles that prevent grounding. When you are grounded, free electrons from the earth are transferred into your body, and these free electrons are among the most potent antioxidants known to man. As electrons are negatively charged and free radicals are positively charged, any free radicals encountered in your tissues are electrically neutralized or cancelled out by these free electrons. This is why grounding is so effective against, for example, chronic inflammation. Dr. Laura Coniver, who discovered grounding quite by accident after it seemed to soothe her crying infant, says in this documentary, grounding supports the body as a whole, but it specifically supports organ systems down to the tissue and the cellular functions of the entire body. So this is quite extraordinary. Also, while you may think, or maybe not think of your body as a generator of electricity, you are very much an electrical being. And this is in large part why it's so important to use grounding to harness the electrical charge of the earth. So in this documentary that I am mentioning here, Gaetan Chevalier, an engineer and physicist who has also studied grounding for a lot of time, he explains, unbeknownst to us, we live inside a battery. The surface of the earth is charged negatively, and the ionosphere, a layer of the atmosphere about 60 miles up, is ionized by the sun. So the rays of the sun are so strong that they split the molecules into two, a positive charge and a negative charge. So how this is interesting for us and the grounding? Well, the negative charge are transferred to the surface of the earth through lightning mainly, and the positive charges stay 60 miles up in the ionosphere. The problem arises when we don't have a negative charge. We need grounding, just as we need air to breathe to stay alive, as we need sunshine to stay alive. So grounding simply reduces electric field induction. There's even evidence that grounding reduces the voltage induced on your body from electricity in your environment, a factor that has become increasingly important in the modern world. As noted in a 2012 review, it says like this: Applewhite, an electric engineer and expert in the design of electrostatic discharge systems in the electronic industry, was both subject and author of the study. Measurements were taken while ungrounded and then grounding, simply using a conductive patch and a conductive bed pad. Each method, patch and sheet, immediately reduced the common alternating current of 60 Hz ambient voltage induced on the body by a highly significant factor of about 70 on average. So simply the study showed that when the body is grounded, so simply you can have your feet on the ground, its electrical potential become equalized with the Earth's electrical potential. So this, in turn, prevents the 60 Hz modes from producing an alternating current, electric potential, at the surface of the body, and also from perturbations of the electrical charges of the molecules inside the body. So the study confirms that the umbrella effect of earthing the body, which was also explained by the Nobel Prize winner Richard Feynman in his lecture on electromagnetism. So Feynman said that when the body potential is the same as the electrical potential of the earth, meaning you are grounded, it becomes an extension of the Earth's gigantic electrical system. So the Earth's potential thus becomes the working agent that cancels, reduces, or pushes away electrical fields from our body. So here comes the benefits of grounding. While it might sound too easy, the simple pleasure of walking barefoot can be a powerful, health-promoting activity. A scientific review published in the Journal of Environmental and Public Health in 2012 found that grounding can help improve the quality of your sleep and feelings of restfulness upon waking up. It reduces muscle stiffness and soreness. Grounding reduces chronic pain. It normalizes the secretion of stress hormone cortisol so that it adheres to a typical cycle of peaking in the morning and dipping lowest at midnight. This in turn helps promote more restful sleep and also improves blood sugar regulation and weight control. Grounding reduces stress. It balances your autonomic nervous system by stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system, which rules the rest and digest functions of the body, and quieting the sympathetic nervous system, which cues the so-called fight or flight response in our body. Grounding reduces the severity of inflammatory response after intense workouts. Walking barefoot or grounding, it also raises your heart rate variability, so your ability of your heart to respond to stimuli. It speeds up your wound healing. It improves your moods. In one study, grounding for 1 hour significantly improved mood. Grounding reduces inflammation. In the documentary, grounding pioneer Clint Ober explains how grounding quenches inflammation. Inflammation is produced by neutrophils, which are white blood cells. When you have an injury, a damaged cell, these white blood cells come over and encapsulate the damaged cells and release reactive oxygen species, which rip electrons from the damaged cell, and that destroys the damaged cell. If these are not enough free electrons to reduce the remaining radicals, they will simply going to steal an electron from a healthy cell, and in the process it will damage it. So then the message goes out to the immune system, and another neutrophil does the same thing and eliminates that cell. And then you simply have a chain reaction which will produce inflammation. Grounding thins your blood, making it less viscous by strengthening the negative electrical surface charge on your red blood cells. This improves their ability to repel each other and allows them to flow more easily through tiny capillaries. And this is incredibly valuable, as cardiovascular disease is correlated also with thicker, slow-moving blood. Grounding it can also help protect against blood clots. In fact, this blood thinning effect is so profound that if you are taking a blood thinner, such as any medicine you know, you should consult your doctor before you start grounding regularly. You may need to lower your dosage to avoid overdosing on your medications. Research upon grounding, published in the Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine, revealed that 2 hours of grounding increased the surface charge of red blood cells, thereby reducing viscosity and clumping of the blood. So according to these authors, they say grounding appears to be one of the simplest and yet most profound interventions for helping reduce cardiovascular risk and cardiovascular events. Grounding also increases the structure of the water in your cells. Water is in every cell in your body, and this water is highly ordered or structured and also charged. So if you don't have properly structured water in your cells, it can impact the functioning of the much larger protein molecules and others in your body that interface with the cell. So the water inside the cell also interfaces with water outside the cell, which has the opposite charge, creating a battery effect. So your body's ability to generate electricity is actually a key part of your achieving health. Electrical charges delivered from cell to cell allows for nearly instantaneous communication within your body, and the messages conducted via these electrical signals are responsible for controlling the rhythm of your heartbeat, for example, the movement of blood around your body, and much, much more. In fact, most of your biological processes are electrical. The water in your cells achieves its ordered structure from energy obtained from the environment, typically in the form of electromagnetic radiation, including sunlight and infrared heat. So by grounding may also play an important role for you, because just as water increases in structure when a negative charge is introduced by an electrode, the negatively charged electrons you receive when grounded help increase the structure of the water in your cells. So by restructuring the water in your body, you simply promote more efficient tissue healing. So when you ground, you are charging every single cell in your body with energy that your body can use for self-healing. So how and where to ground? While connecting just about any part of your skin to the earth is beneficial, just one area in particular is potent, is the center of the ball of your foot. So a point known to acupuncturists as kidney 1 is a well-known acupuncture point that conductively connects to all of the acupuncture meridians in your body. So exercising barefoot outdoors, it has to be directly on the ground, is a great way to incorporate earthing in your daily life and will also help speed up tissue repair, ease muscle pain associated with strenuous exercise. So the ideal location for walking barefoot is on the beach, close or in the water, because sea salt is a great conductor. So your body is also somewhat conductive because it contains a large number of charged ions called electrolytes dissolved in the water in your body. So your blood and other body fluids are therefore good conductors. A closed second good area will be a grassy area, so walk barefoot on grass, especially if it's covered with dew exactly in this period of the year, or on bare soil. So don't walk on concrete, don't walk on a paved path, because the electrons will not pass through very well. Materials like asphalt, for example, woods are typically insulators. Rubber, plastic will not allow the electrons to pass through your foot sole. So therefore you will not get grounded. So it's no idea to work on synthetic materials. About 80 minutes for the free electrons from the earth to reach your bloodstream are necessary, and they will transform your blood. And then you will be able to reap the greatest effects of it. So the recommendation of the experts is between 80 and 120 minutes per day. So between 80 minutes and 2 hours. So just as walking barefoot was once very widespread, now it's not so much anymore. We sleep indoors, we have shoes, so we insulate ourselves from the earth. And it's also the issue of elevation, because now we live in houses with many floors, and usually we don't, if we are, for example, living on the 3rd floor or higher, we don't get in touch with the electrons from the earth. And for each meter that you are above the ground, 300 volts of charge will build up in your body. So if you are on a 2nd level, 2nd story bedroom, your charge would be around 1000 volts on average, and this increased charge will increase also the risk for health problems. So for example, a study conducted for a few years ago found a 40% increase in stroke risks among people living in multi-story homes. Flying will also make you severely ungrounded. And when indoors or at elevations, you can ground by simply using a grounding mat or a grounding pad. It's called, that you can buy online. I bought one online, and you can also use it while sleeping. You can keep your bare feet on this grounding mat while, for example, working, and they work well, provided these grounding mats work well, provided that they have an electrical outlet that can be particularly beneficial if you live in a high-rise home. So you need to have this 3-prong outlet with a ground port or a bottom outlet, because most homes, most modern homes built after the 70s will have this grounded electrical system. So otherwise it will not work. And also there should be no layer of clothing between your body and the grounding mat. So if you keep your feet on it, no socks. If you sleep on it, then you have to have it under your legs. So no pajama trousers while you sleep. You need to make sure that, at least if you can, take off your shoes, place your feet, bare feet, on, for example, on the steel struts of the chair in front of you when you are flying, for example, an airplane, Or you can even make different improvisations with copper wires connected to your bed if it has a metal frame, so you can connect it to a grounding pad. But I will not go into the technical details. No matter what, this grounding is one key mechanism by which your body simply maintains equilibrium and health. The human body evolved in constant contact with the earth, and therefore our body really needs this continuous interchange of energy in order to function properly. Free radical stress from exposure to pollution, cigarettes, even if you don't smoke, others will, pesticides, processed food, electromagnetic radiation, Wi-Fi, 4G, 5G now, all this will deplete our body from electrons. So the earth is always electron rich and can serve as a powerful, abundant supply of antioxidant free radical busting electrons, provided you make the effort to stay grounded. So without a proper supply of antioxidants, the free radicals in our body will eventually overwhelm our system, and it will lead to oxidative stress, inflammation, accelerated aging. None of us wants that. So this oxidative stress causes disease, it can cause inflammation. So use Earth, use Mother Earth, that will give us all the free electrons that we really need. So again, exercising barefoot outdoors is a wonderful way to incorporate grounding into your daily routine. So even now it's November and it's a little bit cold outside, you can still find a piece of grass or bare soil somewhere to place your feet for a few minutes and just simply notice how destructive energies, disharmonious energies from your body will simply run into the earth and will liberate yourself. And these free electrons that are charged from the ground will enter your body through your feet sole and will fill your body with beneficial energy. It's simple, it doesn't cost anything. Of course, it takes a little bit of effort to go outside, take off the shoes and the socks, and place your bare feet on the ground. But we need this because the modern life that we live into now, it's not always the best. It's not always offering us the best environment for it. So make sure that you stay grounded and stay healthy.